On Monday, we do chest. Because if you want a thick chick on her hands and knees, taking your beef where she cuts the cheese, your chest better be fucking swole.
Could you look this way?
Here's your chance to clear everything up, okay, homie? Okay.
Quiet on set.
You wear them pantyhose on your face?
3,
I mean,
2,
come as you are.
and
But
now you're on.
the good news. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. We are joined today with Ye, who's been in the press for your controversial remarks. Some now even comparing him to a Nazi. But today, he's here to make peace.
We're going to stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
We're going to take a quick break. The hell was that?
Over here, please.
You supposed to be setting the record straight.
You all right, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Wow.
Coming here looking like a damn sock puppet.
All right, say it again.
We're going to do this again.
To the good news.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. We're here with Ye, who's here to set the record straight. Ye, please tell everybody, you don't hate Jewish people, right?
I love Jewish people,
Thank you.
but I also love Nazis.
Oh, it. Okay, we're going to take another quick break, but we'll just be one prayer away.
And we're clear.
What the hell is going on? Oh, my God. I can't do this with this fool. College dropout. Really? Is he?
Jesus, could
Can't be.
Move the light this way.
Can't be that. Who would ever believe that?
All right.
Here, Jesus.
Come on, Jesus. Focus.
Ain't no alcohol in this. Cheryl, there's no
It's
alcohol.
coffee.
All right, get ready, everyone.
I'm going to give you one more chance, okay?
Okay, 5
Don't
seconds.
say no other silly shit.
3, 2.
Okay, sorry about that, folks. Welcome back one last time. We are here with Ye, who's just about to say something really nice to all the people watching around the world. Ye?
Every human being has something of value
Of value. Perfect.
that they
Cut to
brought to
commercial.
the table,
Cut.
especially Hitler.
When you exhale, they spread sheet about you. You made a PowerPoint. Nerd jokes.
I'm having a fucking panic attack right now. I need to calm the fuck down because I'm having a panic attack.
Guy is funny, he'll have a pretty girlfriend. If a girl is funny, she won't have a boyfriend.
Oh, that's why I'm single. Okay. Got it.
Oh my god.
Okay, I've got it, all right?
Hey, my name's Travis and I'm here to fuck your bitch.
Okay, let's talk about the term crackhead. Now, for those of you who remember the 70s and 80s, this is a quick refresher course. For those of you who don't remember the 90s, this is for you. In the 60s, the drug of choice was weed, heroin, and LSD. In the 70s, it was cocaine. It was seen as cosmopolitan, elegant, beautiful, and you had to be extremely rich to do it because cocaine was expensive. In the 80s, crack, a smokable form of cocaine, was introduced to the American populace in part by the CIA. At the same time, Ronald Reagan ramped up his war on drugs. In 1986, Time magazine ran an article titled, "Crack, a cheap and deadly cocaine is a fast-spreading menace." In it, the article says that more than half of the nation's so-called crackheads are black. That same year, Congress passed laws creating a 100-to-1 disparity between possession and trafficking of crack and possession and trafficking of cocaine. For example, if you were caught with 5 grams of crack, you had a mandatory minimum of 5 years in prison. Now, if you were caught with 500 grams of cocaine, you had a mandatory minimum of 5 years in prison. You see the disparity? That exists because cocaine was associated with rich white people, while crack was associated with poor blacks. That was in 1986. It wasn't fixed until 2010 with the passing of the Fair Sentencing Act, and they dropped it from 100-to-1 to 18-to-1. The whole reason crack was introduced to the United States populace was so that the United States government and the CIA could secretly sell arms to Iran, while also secretly funding the Contras, a right-wing rebel organization in Nicaragua. Now, as far as we know, the CIA never actually sold crack or cocaine to the American population. They had people do that for them that they then tried to set up to be the fall guy, like Freeway Rick Ross. And I'm not talking about the rapper. No. I'm talking about the OG Freeway Rick Ross. And just 1 year later in 1987, Oliver North, who was involved in all this, warned us of the evil that is Osama bin Laden. You see, we'd been selling him guns for years. It's called the Iran-Contra scandal. Look that ish up.
Listen, I have officially become way too comfortable on the internet, but I am going to show you. Now, I don't have a Mickey vodka, which a Mickey is a 350 milliliter bottle if you're American, but I do have this, okay? And I will successfully hide this. So before every concert, this is what me and my friends would do in the parking lot before we went in, okay? And we would do this because we didn't want to pay for overpriced drinks, and honestly, we probably were underage, like not illegally allowed to drink. So I was the chosen one. I mean, come on. It's my one party trick, okay? I can't do much. I'm not good at much, but I am good at hiding bottles of alcohol.
2 black teenagers were accused of rape. They were tried, convicted, and sentenced to death in a single day. And after they were executed, a mob of white men terrorized, drove out, or killed all the black people in the surrounding area. And they did that until the entire black community of Oscarville disappeared. The county went from having over 1,000 black residents in 1912 to 0 in 1920. That story is so sad, it makes this story look like a comedy. After the black community had been run off, the white people of Forsyth County said, you know what we could use? A big old lake. So they made one, right where the town of Oscarville had just been. They flooded the area and literally covered up the entire town with water. This is what it looks like right now. But the town is still under there. The homes and churches and schools, they're still down there. And now people go boating on top of them. Compared to that, this is truly a rom-com. Now, you might be thinking, what a weird, isolated incident. But just like the rat who ate the pizza in the subway, this story is both crazy and common. Ever heard of Collegia, Alabama? It was once a thriving black community with a black college, the first black railroad, and literally hundreds of family homes. Today, it's Lake Martin. At least they had the decency to name it after a black person. And if you think this kind of thing only happened in the South, let me introduce you to a place called Central Park. It's named after that coffee shop on Friends. Central Park used to have a black community in it called York Hill. But the city of New York destroyed York Hill so that they could build the Central Park Reservoir. Because if there's one thing New York needs, it's another place for ducks to hang out. But if you come here, don't try and feed those ducks. They are very aggressive. Mess around and lose a finger. Now, when the residents of York Hill were kicked out of their homes, they fled to another black community nearby called Seneca Village. And then a few years later, New York destroyed Seneca Village too, so that they could build Central Park on top of it. The craziest part of this story is that I work a few blocks away from a place where the government disappeared 2 black communities. And until recently, I didn't know about any of it. You know why? Because it worked. They tried to erase black communities and they came way too close. But now there are people doing the research. So we are finally learning about places like Henry and McKee Islands, which is now located under Lake Guntersville in Alabama, and Vanport, Oregon, which is now located under Delta Park. And all of these towns, which are currently literally under...
I know I ain't just stumbled across no filter that's supposed to show you what kind of coochie you got. Y'all need y'all ass whooped. This spitting ass cat
Dude, they're literally a bump ahead. Why do we need this much water for 3? Shit! Fuck! No, don't go fast! Fuck! Don't go fast! Jack, stop! 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 Stop!
Bro! Stitch this with a fact so ridiculous you didn't believe it until you looked it up yourself.
The Unabomber hated the expression, "you can't have your cake and eat it too," and that's how he got caught. Between the years of 1978 and 1995, a man named Ted Kaczynski embarked on a nationwide bombing campaign in which he injured or killed over 24 people. Over those years, when the FBI was searching for his identity, they gave him the case identifier Unabomb, or University and Airline Bomber, which is where his name came from. Ted Kaczynski was a gifted engineer and mathematician, and he was also a stickler for logic. So, like many of us, he was kind of annoyed at the expression, "you can't have your cake and eat it too," because what's the point of having a cake if you can't eat it? The expression dates back to at least 16th century English, and it's in reference to the fact that cakes are pretty to have and look at, but they're also delicious to eat. But once you eat it, you can no longer admire how pretty it is. So if the phrase was created in modern times, we'd probably say something like, "you can't eat your cake and still have it," or "you can't eat your cake and have it too," which is the way Ted Kaczynski insisted upon saying it. So in 1995, when American newspapers published a 35,000-word manifesto sent by the Unabomber, it rose the suspicion of his brother's wife, who had long suspected that her weird loner, hermit, math genius, engineer, bomb tinkerer brother-in-law was maybe a good suspect for the Unabomber. She asked her husband, Ted Kaczynski's brother, to look over the manifesto and see what he thought. He was more skeptical than she was that this guy could be the Unabomber, but after reading the manifesto, he realized that there were a lot of similarities in between the letters that he had sent them and the manifesto printed in the paper. And then he got to a part where he said, "you can't eat your cake and still have it." And he only knew one person that said that. So he called the FBI and said, "I think I know who the Unabomber is." Of course, this was just a hunch and not conclusive proof, but among thousands of other leads they got, this one actually went somewhere. A short investigation later, and they had overwhelming evidence that Ted Kaczynski was in fact the Unabomber. Ted Kaczynski was arrested, tried, convicted, and sentenced to 8 life sentences. And while he's in prison, I'm sure he can have and eat as much cake as he wants, which probably isn't a lot, but it's ironic either way.
Are you even a woman if you don't know this trick? So much better.
I bought the most expensive cookies money can buy. Let's try them and rate them 1 through 10. These cookies were $155 and you get 12 of them. It's a company based out in LA and they shipped the cookies directly to my house in 2 days. The customer service was fire. They emailed me like 12 times. They was really hyping it up. Like, these are the most exclusive cookies you gonna possibly get. I'm so happy you bought them. Thank you for buying them. Tell people on Instagram that they don't cost so much. Well, we about to find out. Yeah, I'm so excited though. I'm a sucker for packaging. This is beautiful. Oh. This is a special Thanksgiving box, so it only comes with 4 flavors, but you get 3 each, so you get 12 cookies altogether. These bags are not resealable. That's terrible. That's crazy. I'm getting a Ziploc bag. I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something. The floor is lava. It's a lava cake cookie. Oh my God, look at that. Bro.
Wait, it just shocked me. What is that?
That's the best sweet I've ever had in my goddamn life. I didn't say cookie, I said sweet. 10 out of 10. I hate to do that on the first one. S'mores campfire. 10 seconds in the microwave later. It's like falling apart. Oh, what? I'm not a huge fan of s'mores flavored things, but that's done beautifully. 9 out of 10. Stifler's mom is American Pie. My wife just told me it's from the movie American Pie. I didn't know that. Straight out the microwave. This is probably the softest one. It's literally falling apart. I can't even pull it. What the f? That's more like an apple cinnamon oatmeal cookie than it is apple pie. But nonetheless, that is delicious. 9.8 out of 10. Basic white girl pumpkin spice latte flavor. Oh, it's filled with something. I don't like that. I just read the package and that's a cappuccino cream cheese with a pumpkin dough. I don't like that. That's like a 3. It's like a 2 out of 10. I will attempt to justify why that's $150. The pros. The package does say that you can freeze them if you don't eat them all. And you can throw them out on the counter and heat them up and they taste brand new. You can buy those for a wedding or like a little dinner party and you impress everybody. They delicious. Most of them, except for the last one. It's exclusive flavoring, which means they like drop limited, so you never know if you're gonna get them or not. And everybody wanna feel exclusive. Cons, it's $150 for a box of cookies. You're going to eat them and then you're going to realize you spent $150. To some of your friends, you might come off as a douchebag that just spent $150 on cookies. Did I successfully convince you that that's worth $150? I don't know. That's up to you. If it's up to me, I say $100, $85 with the EBT card. If I had to buy it again, $90 at the most.
This is a perfect bowl of instant ramen. Don't believe me? Ask David Chang, ask Kenneth Lee, Wolfgang Puck. They'll tell you. Peanut butter, sesame oil, everything spice, sriracha, ginger ale must be Canada Dry, Shin Ramen. Think about all the flavors that are in there right now. It's the balance, everything, it just works so well. Egg, I try to rest the egg on the noodles. Don't worry about that. Let it go on the bottom. Make sure your water is boiling hot. Let it steam for 5 minutes. This point, I like to try and keep the noodles intact, remove them so you can stir up the broth. My egg is cooked perfectly. Put the noodles back in and enjoy. This is a bowl of crack.
Hey, Mike. So I was out yesterday, and I heard you left early, and I just want to know what that's about. Oh, yeah, my daughter got sick at school yesterday, so I had to go pick her up. And you thought that that was important enough to leave work over. Steve, you look like a man who values his teeth, so I'm going to let you think about that before I get angry. You know, that kind of sounds like a threat against a supervisor, so... Well, you're not my supervisor after work, are you? Well, when I came into work the next day, I would tell the plant manager and you would be fired. Who said you'd make it back in the next day? What? I'm gonna just go back to my office, man. Should probably do that.
Put the pussy in the bag, bitch.
Gotcha. So I would like to thank everyone that was involved with this negotiation.
Yeah, bro. Come on, go play. Good job, dude.
Oh, killed the one. Oh, Max, you almost fell. Go ahead, Max. Go ahead. Oh, Lord have mercy.
It has been a dream of mine to have that many on my face at once.
Hold on. Good shit, nigga.
I'm just looking for a man that when I look at him and say, I got rolls, he'll look back at me and say, I got butter, what's up?
Question for parents. Do you ever regret what you named your kid?
I had my daughter at 21. Now, there's nothing wrong with having kids at that age, but sometimes when you have kids on the younger side, you end up naming them how you would name like a baby doll or a pet. I named my daughter Chloe. I still love that name. I named her Chloe with a K because my name starts with a K. I still stand behind that decision. But here's where it gets a little weird. In some lame attempt at being like quirky and original, I ended up giving her 2 E's. Which, okay, fine. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it gets worse. For a little bit of extra like spiciness, I decided I was going to give her an accent. She needed an accent in her name. She needed to be Khloe with an accent. E. She just needed to be. Except when I filled out her paperwork for like a birth certificate, I put the accent in there and I made sure to tell the nurse that I gave the information to that that was an accent and that it needed to be on there. Yeah, she had no idea how to put an accent on a letter while using a computer. So instead of like just leaving it blank or like figuring it out, I don't even know if that's actually something that you could do. Whatever. She ends up using an apostrophe instead on the documentation that gets sent off to the Social Security office for my daughter's now legal name. So my daughter's name is KHLOE'. All because her 21-year-old mom decided that she just needed an accent.
Hey Dad, Austin and I are about to buy a house and you guys paid off your mortgage faster. How did you do it?
Well, it's not as difficult as it sounds. What we did is we took the 30-year mortgage. Now the reason we did that is because then your monthly payment is so much less. During the year, if you make one additional monthly payment somewhere along the line, it can be one big payment or 12 small payments. But if you make an extra payment every year, that comes straight off the principal, not the interest, and it will cut your loan down from 30 years to 17.
Thanks, Tim.
You're welcome.